What if I told you that confidence is not a personality trait? It's not that you don't have it. It is available to everyone. And I think that that is such good news. Hey, you. Thank you for joining me. I know there are millions of podcasts out there to listen to because I have such a list, I can't even hardly get to them, even though I like all of them. So I'm so honored that you're listening to mine right now. I think about you every time that I record an episode. Like, what do you need to hear today? So, if there is ever a topic that I haven't touched on yet, I feel like I've talked about so many things. But if there's ever anything that you're like, oh, please talk about this, just send me a message. I'd love to have some ideas of what you do need to hear because sometimes I'm just guessing. Now, how much are you willing to spend on items to boost your confidence? So I love hair, makeup, clothing. I get so excited. I even had this really fun necklace on, but it like kept making noise. So I took it off. But how much do you spend on that kind of stuff? I have spent a lot of money on just all those type of things like self tanner and teeth whitening. I've been doing that for like 20 years. Now, it's important to know that those things don't, that's not where your confidence comes from. They can be things that boost your confidence. So I just want you to think about, and maybe you're spending money on certain status things like having a certain label or having a certain car or I don't know, all those things. But those things outside of us don't give us confidence. Our confidence comes from inside of us. And it actually comes from our thoughts. And of course, we've talked about that a lot of times. I know from many years of experience that if you are not paying attention to your thoughts, those thoughts run your life. And most of our thoughts are negative. And again, we have to remember that our brain is trying to keep us safe. And so it's going to look for all the negatives because it's looking for all the things that are unsafe or all the things that are going to keep you out of the group or whatever. When we rely on all those external things, then it's never ending. We're constantly going to have to keep buying the newest thing, getting more makeup, getting more hair product, getting more certain kind of clothes or whatever, because the confidence is coming from something outside of us. People tell me all the time that they wish they had more confidence or that they would, I would do this if I was more confident. Like I would join that group if I had more confidence, or I would start learning a new language or a new instrument if I had confidence. Or they just say, I've never been that confident, or I don't have that kind of confidence. Or they say they lost their confidence. I lost my confidence to be successful at my job or whatever. So, what would you do if you had more confidence? If you had all the confidence in the world, how would your life be different? What if I told you that confidence is not a personality trait? It's not that you don't have it. It is available to everyone. And I think that that is such good news and exciting. I wish I would have known this a long time ago because I spent a lot of time, especially in my elementary, early middle school years, just saying, oh, I'm a shy person and feeling really scared to speak up about anything. And it was boring and I hated it, but I didn't know that confidence was available to me. The things I'm going to tell you today, I kind of did because I was so bored being shy. But here's some wisdom from Mel Robbins. And you know that I love Mel Robbins because I've done several podcasts over different ideas that she has. And now she has a podcast, which I enjoy. I can't even listen to all of it because I think she has a podcast 2 times a week, which I don't even know how anyone does that. I know she has a team or help. She wouldn't be having 2 a week if she did it by herself, but it's very fun to listen to, so you should go check it out. But she says confidence is not a feeling, like I don't feel confident to do this or whatever. It's not a feeling, it's an action. It is the willingness to try, to push yourself out of your comfort zone and to grow and learn from these experiences. And oh my gosh, that's exactly what I've been saying for 2.5 years now. You could probably go back and listen to several different episodes of mine where I talk about comfort zones, like do things that are scary, do things that are putting yourself out there. So if you were more confident, what would you be doing? Okay, do that. It is an action. I told the story once about my client who wanted to be more extroverted and outgoing. And I asked her, well, if you were extroverted and outgoing, what would you do? And she said, well, I would be in the middle of the conversation. Like when there's a group of girls, I would be right in there and people would be talking to me, I'd be talking to them, we'd be having so much fun. And I told her, well, that's what you need to do. You need to go and get in the middle of the group. You need to talk, you need to have fun. And I know that sounds scary and hard. And truthfully, it is scary and hard. That's why people aren't doing it. But it is the only way to craft a life that you want. If you want to be more outgoing, then you have to act like an outgoing person. I had a client once that sat all slumped over and he talked so quiet. I could barely hear him. And he complained to me that he didn't have any friends. And I told him that they need that he needed to start speaking up and setting up straight and give the signal that he wanted friendships. He wanted people. And he said he thought that if he looked sad and lonely, all alone at the table, that students would come over and ask him what was wrong and include him. And actually, the opposite happens. Now, I'm not saying that we shouldn't ask people how they are doing or include people who are sitting alone. I think that's beautiful. And I want you to be one of those kind of people. I still try to be one of those. I mean, forever we should be one of those kind of people. But teens, especially, and this is not anything bad about them, this is a developmental stage. Teens, and I think really a lot of adults who aren't self aware, only care about themselves and not in a selfish way, just developmentally, especially with teens. They're so worried about how do I fit in? How do I look? Am I weird? Am I ugly? Do people like me? And so because they're so center focused, they're just worried about how do I connect with my friends? So they're not looking around at the sad and lonely student. That person gets ignored because they're worried about their own selves. And so these other kids may be the nicest people in the world, but it's very likely that they're not going to see these other sad and lonely kids. And now I did try to teach that with my own kids, and I tried to teach it with students who talked to me about it, like look for those kids and be nice to them. But many new students that would come to my school would say, oh, the kids at this school are so rude and they don't include anyone. And so I asked them, how many people did you ask to be included with? How many kids did you say, hey, can I sit at your table or can I sit by you in this class? And they said none. They were waiting for students to come to them. And teens are not typically going to do that. So if you are a teen and you feel like you're being left out or ignored, you need to be the person who goes up and says, hey, how's it going? Can I sit here? Can I talk to you? What's going on here? So if you are new to a class, a club, or a school, you need to approach people and you need to ask if you can sit with them and start a conversation about things that they are interested in and what you're interested in. And this is the scary, uncomfortable part. It takes courage to go up to new people and ask if you can join them. It's scary for a 54-year-old to do that, but it's so worth it. I have met the nicest people randomly, and you will too. I promise that there are way more nice people in your new class, your new club, or your new school than there ever was mean people. And for some crazy reason, you happen to pick the mean table the first time you go up and people are rude to you. Good. Now you know where the rude people are so you can avoid them. And I don't know if I've went to a table recently where people were rude, but I love saying good morning or hello to people. Everybody, all over, Walmart, any place I go, and there are a lot of adults that are rude, and that's okay. It doesn't mean anything. I don't have to worry about them. I'm doing what I want to do, and I'm what I feel like is a better person by being kind to people. So if they're not kind, they're having a bad life, and I'm sorry about that. But it doesn't affect me. Confidence is a skill that can be built. That's what I mean by it's available to everyone. You can build the skill. It is not a personality trait. You're not born. Now, I do believe that is a personality trait of like outgoing or shyness that is maybe more likely sometimes because you can tell it even in babies. Like a baby seems more social, and another baby doesn't like to be social. But this confidence skill can be built by anyone, no matter what you were born with, because you build confidence every time you do these scary actions and you go in the direction that you really want to go. And this is just like the muscle and weight training we talked about, where when you try a new workout routine or you start weight training for the first time, it's really painful at first. Like when you're building your muscles, it hurts. And it may always be somewhat painful because you're always like trying to lift heavier weights and do more workouts or whatever. But it gets better and it gets easier. And that's the same way with this confidence. Another way to build confidence is to have certain things that you wear that make you feel confident. Like, and again, because I'm a fashion or clothes person, this will makes more sense to me. But like I remember there were certain outfits that were like power outfits to me. Like I would wear them and I was like, I can do anything if I had this outfit on. And maybe it's not clothing for you, maybe it's some other thing. I know one book that I read about confidence, she loves like big jewelry. And so she said when she would wear like a big watch or a big bracelet, she would feel like they were her Wonder Woman cuffs. And, maybe it's the way you do your hair or your makeup or whatever, but anything that you can use. Now, again, these things don't give you, external things don't give you confidence, but it's like it helps kind of shore you up when you are uncertain. I'm going to feel a lot like recording this podcast that is like a video. Like I feel more confident in it when I look the way I want to. That's a lot of times why I don't record the video part, because I just have my pajamas on, or my hair's back and I have my glasses on and I don't have any makeup, and I don't like that. And that's okay, because my confidence doesn't come from that, but it helps shore it up. It helps it feel better. So whatever it is, that helps you to feel more confident. Some people have like lucky socks, or something that's even underneath their clothes that people don't even know about, but it helps them to feel more confident. So everyone has confidence inside of them. You just have to uncover it and practice it. Think about a person that you think has unstoppable confidence. And you when you have that feeling like, oh, I can't do that, it's too hard, ask yourself what they would do. Maybe it's a superhero, like I was talking about the super or Wonder Woman cuffs, or a TV character or a celebrity or a real person in your life. How would they show up in that moment and do what they would do? And remember, we've talked about future self several times. if your future self is confident and outgoing and doing these things, then what would your future self do in this situation? I think Kelly Ripa has such a fun personality, and she has a TV show. You'll have to look her up if you don't know who she is. So cute. I'm pretty sure she's my age. And um, I don't hardly ever watch her show, but when I do, I'm just like, oh, I would love to be her because she's so fun. She has these fabulous outfits. She gets to meet new people every day and laugh and talk with all these people. And she just seems like she would be a fun friend. And I recently did a live podcast episode with Emma G, and you'll have to check that out on YouTube, or I put some little clips on my social media. But I had to channel my inner Kelly Ripa because I've never done a live podcast before and I was scared about it and I didn't want to look weird or um I mean I want my business to grow and so I have to look like a person that they would actually want to work with. So I just prepared myself a lot and I thought about what would Kelly Ripa do and how would she show up in this podcast. And that's the other thing. Preparing yourself for something that's scary is another tool. So practice ahead of time. Think about different ways that you're going to say and do in that situation and practice them in the mirror. Have different scenarios, no matter which way it goes. So if you are wanting to find a table to set out with lunch and you know it's going to be scary to go up and talk to them, plan what you will say to the table and plan what you're going to say and do if they say yes, please join us, how fun, we're so, who are you, or plan what you say if they say no, because that could happen. Some people are not nice and that's okay, it doesn't mean anything about you. So practice it both ways, and so you're going to come off calm, cool, polished, collected, whatever, no matter what they say, because you have already practiced it. And remember to always remind yourself why it's worth trying to even do this. Because think about, like at the beginning, I asked, what would you be doing if you had confidence? Those are your whys. Why is having confidence important to you? How did you answer that question? Would you try out for something you haven't tried out for before? Would you join this club? Would you speak up in class? Would you ask out that cute person that you see at lunch every day? Would you finally wear that jacket that you secretly love, but you think other people will think it's weird? That is your why. When you get scared and want to talk yourself out of being brave or taking action, remind yourself of this why. Make a screensaver with this why on it. Record yourself saying what your why is and listen to it. Set an alarm to go off at random times throughout the day with your why on it, or even the words, you can do this. Anything that would be motivating to keep you moving towards your goals. Live like you have always wanted to live. That automatically generates a confident feeling. Stand up straight, have a firm voice. All of these things, you might have to fake it first. And I'm not meaning like lying or pretending that you're somebody that you're not. Because remember, we all have confidence inside of us. We just have to practice it and we have to act on it. But obviously, when you start new things, it is like nerve wracking. And so you're going to put that clothing on that makes you feel good, or you're going to just keep reminding yourself in your head about why you're doing it, even though inside you're like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. Forever, people have told me that I don't look nervous when I'm in front of people, and I'm always nervous. I have been a soloist, a singer, not anything famous or whatever, but I enjoy it. And people would say, oh my gosh, you looked so confident up there. I didn't feel it. My stomach, might hurt, my knees. Sometimes I like it if I'm standing behind a podium because people can't see that I'm shaking around. But we don't know what's inside of people. Mel Robbins said that her TEDx talk that I have watched and loved, I think I've watched it several times. She said it was a 21-minute panic attack. Now, when I watch it, she looks like this amazing person that I want to be. And so, we don't know what's going on inside of people. And we look around and we think everyone has it easy and everyone is confident but us, or everyone has this or that. They don't. Everyone is scared. Everyone wants to look a certain way. Everyone wants to have friends. Everyone wants to belong. Some people just do it differently, and you can craft that for yourself however you want it to be. Now, whenever we are trying these new ways of being, it helps to have someone alongside you, kind of helping talk you through it or helping you figure it out. Someone who is neutral and objective, and someone who's going to cheer you on when you need it and help you find those parts that aren't working so well and help you to think differently. I would love to be that person for you. So go to my social media links or email me or tell me what you want to have a chat about, and I can help you get more confidence or anything else that you need, because it is just something we need to uncover inside of you and help you practice. So I'll talk to you soon.